Are you looking for a side hustle? Let's get you trading stocks right now. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be taking you through a trade that I did over the weekend. And I'm going to take you step by step through the process that I took of combining strategies to get the profit that I ended up with. So let's get with it. Alright, so this is going to be my first video that I've actually shown you my Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade app. And this is on my laptop. I mainly use TD Ameritrade on there. It is a better computer app than it is a phone app. So as I've said in previous videos, Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade has a lot better indicators and charts and everything. And as you can see here, that you haven't seen in my previous videos because I've been using Webull in all my other videos, is there is a red line right there. Now that is my long-term SMA line. And you haven't saw that before if you've been following my videos because Webull is a little bit harder to set up, so I don't even bother with it on there. But TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim makes it really easy to set all this up. But it is a little bit more advanced application, so I'm not really gonna if you're a beginner, I'm not gonna recommend it to you. I recommend you go get Webull, and that link is down in my description. But I'm gonna show you this because this is the app that I use to make this trade. So as you can see right over here, you can see this big spike up, that big run up. Luckily for me, I caught it a couple days before that big run up over the weekend, and I was able to sell out on the 19th with a pretty good profit. And so as you can see here down below on the RSI, I was noticing that there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of oversold and overbought going on. So I followed that and it continued that pattern. So what I was looking at, I started to condense it down into smaller time frames, and I noticed it got tighter and tighter. And I also noticed that right through here on the long-term SMA, it had been fluctuating up and down. And since there was a down period right here, it had been continuing that trend, so I knew that it was probably going to go back up. So I started doing a little bit of research on it. I found good news on Netflix, so I ended up watching it for a couple of days, and I ended up seeing this blue SMA line right here, the short-term SMA, going up and meeting the long-term SMA. And as you can see right here, whenever we condense it down, this is what I was seeing the day of the trade. So right here in the very edge, you can see once you can condense it down that the blue SMA looks a lot tighter to the long-term red SMA, and it had actually crossed over right there. So that, coupled with it dipping down below fair value right here, even though it was getting real close to above fair value, I was intrigued by this because of all the signs that I had. The blue SMA crossing over the red long-term SMA, it holding above that long-term SMA, and all my RSI signs, along with the news that I had saw about Netflix. So I went ahead and entered this trade at $177 and some change. And right here real quick is just an even more condensed version of what you were seeing. And so you can see that right up here, right after I had bought the stock at market open, it had already spiked another $2. And whenever I purchased this stock, I actually purchased 200 shares of it. So even that $2 bump right there, I'd already made $400. And right up here, you can see that it says 5 minutes. That 5 minutes is the duration of each candlestick that is released. And it is the 1 day time period, 1 day, 5 minute time period. So that means it's 1 day duration on my screen with 5 minute long candlesticks. But whenever I was looking at this, as you can tell over here, the RSI was actually getting pretty close to overbought. But I had saw back here where it had went up just above that red SMA line, the long-term SMA, And I knew that this right here was going to be my resistance. And I'll make another video soon about resistance trading and how to use that strategy as well. So with my resistance area pointed out, what I was looking at to actually make the trade was, again, the blue SMA with the candlesticks rising above that long-term SMA. And as you can tell on this 5-minute chart, it is showing overbought, but I was coupling all of this other indications, the blue SMA with the red SMA, and this resistance area over here. Now, whenever I saw this break through that resistance area, I knew that it was going to run up. And so that's why I went ahead and entered that trade. So I've talked about entering this trade, but what about exiting this trade? So right down here is where I entered this trade. Market open on the 15th. So then this gray area right here is whenever the market was closed during the weekend. So then over here is where the market had opened back up after the weekend. So what I was looking at right here, I kind of checked up on it through the day. And you can see that it kind of started to go back down, but I wasn't really worried about that, just in case that there was another run back up. And so what I used to confirm that there wasn't a run back up and went ahead and exited this trade in this area over here was I wanted to see if that red SMA line was going to act as another resistance point and it would run back up a little bit, because this area right here, as I had explained in the video before, is called price strength. So as you can see, there is plenty of price strength after it had rose above that red long-term SMA line over that period of that day and through the weekend, and then it started to taper off come market open the next week. And also you can look down here at the RSI and you can see that it is now in the oversold area. And so then I wanted to look at shorter time frames to be able to confirm what I was seeing. So I condensed it down even farther. I zoomed in. I'm still on 1 day, 5-minute here, but as you can see, it's getting kind of close, and we are at about 12:30 in the afternoon. And then just a short time later, so this is about 1:30 in the afternoon, so about an hour later, you can see that there are some green candlesticks starting to appear as it's getting closer to that long-term SMA line. So that's what I was looking for, to see if it would act as a resistance area and it would go back up in price. So then we move on to about 2 o'clock, and what you can see is we have 3 red candlesticks that are diving way below the blue short-term SMA, and now it is below the red long-term SMA. So now my RSI is actually showing that it is oversold, but all my other indicators are showing that I need to sell out. So I went ahead and sold out right here at about $194. And so what I ended up with after buying in on a Friday and selling out on a Tuesday, I ended up with about a $3,000 profit for just one trade over the weekend. And so that just goes to show you that you can't always rely just on one specific strategy, and it is best to learn several different strategies so that way you can piece them all together and get the biggest profit out of your trades. Alright, if you've watched to the end of the video, then I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and like for more of my content. If you really like my content and you really like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and also if you're interested in learning even more, go take these courses. Links are down in the description. I've got 3 courses that I have up right now, and also I have the link to Webull, so go hit that link, get your free stocks, and I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully can teach you some more.